This is a video I should have had uploaded 2 months ago. While I only completed it yesterday, this footage was actually taken at the beginning of May. Sometime before I recorded this, Titanfall 2 received an update that spelled some great news for the Radeon HD 7750. Previous to that update, I could only run the game with the lowest textures available, regardless of my selection. I figured this was just an issue related to the game detecting the available video memory, of which the 7750 only has 1 gig, and forcibly limited the size and scope of the texture streaming. After the update, the game now allows you to decide the settings regardless of how much VRAM you actually have available, which can introduce some streaming issues if you overdo it, but otherwise works to the 7750's advantage, providing a major boost in texture quality. It also meant I had to reevaluate how the 7750 handled Titanfall 2, of which it does to a similar degree pre-update, but with much better looking textures of course. However, I never showed how this graphics card handles the multiplayer. After a while of tinkering, I settled on a very specific mixture of settings that satisfies my visual taste while meeting my performance needs. Titanfall 2 is a very fast game, and one's frame rate needs to be up to par in order to compete. While 60 FPS isn't a requirement, it does help in fast target acquisition and should guide your decisions in choosing what settings are worth it. The resolution is one of the biggest determinants. More pixels to calculate means more time to Z-buffer, apply effects, and output to your screen. Unless you're okay with bare minimum graphics, 1080p is a no-go, and even then you will not get a lock on 60 FPS. While sounding sacrificial, moving down to 720p greatly eases up on the Radeon 7750's 16 ROPS and leaves you room to enable more settings, including MSAA, environment details, and effects quality. However, we still need to keep a lid on how much we enable. The sun and spot shadow details are simply extraneous beyond the low setting, but still look quite good despite being labeled as low. Model details at medium likewise is sufficient for the 720p resolution, however a long range draw distance I think is worth the cost. It prevents excess pop and fade in that can be distracting or not visually work with the gameplay in long range engagements. Anyone who's played Battlefield 3, 4, or 1 knows exactly what I'm talking about. At its absolute worst, 24 FPS was as low as things got, in a very alpha blend and effects heavy scene, while I would guesstimate my overall average to be 45 to 50 FPS. Though highly variable, the frame rate rarely got close to 30. In general, the FPS was a non-issue in how well I played. 60 FPS, yes, would be ideal, but I never felt limited by the Radeon 7750's performance. The experience, I'm sure, is not too far off what the game visually feels like on the Xbox One. On that regard, one should not see the Radeon 7750 as too limited in capability if they are considering getting Titanfall 2 on PC. It's fun and frenetic regardless, plus the massive upgrade in textures solved the biggest visual problem with the game when played on this graphics card. Looks like there is still some life left in this Radeon HD 7750. Thanks for joining me once again, and as always, be sure to like the video and to subscribe so you don't miss my videos when they drop. Hasta luego, everybody.